All right, here we go, Mamas. Essentials. I will make this, I'll do a general overview and then you can ask more questions. But your main thing that you need, the top of it looks like this. This is your Essentials of the English Language Guide. This is for grammar, the grammar portion. So there are 3 parts to Essentials: grammar, math, and writing. So this is grammar. It does not come in a binder. I'm just showing you the cover. The inside starts looking like this. It's basically a big stack that's shrink wrapped, and it's already 3-hole punched, but it just comes as a stack of papers. So you can choose how you organize it from there. I page protected every sheet because I knew I'd be turning them all the time as a tutor. I also added tabs so I can easily find what week I'm on. Okay, so your Essentials of the English Language Guide is just the grammar portion, and we say EEL, or Essentials of the English Language. So EEL Guide, big old stack. With me adding page protectors and dividers, I've got 3 binders. I have a binder here for weeks 1 through 10. I've got a binder here, weeks 11 through 24. And then this is my weekly binder, so I would take out the week that I'm on. Like this has week 24 in it. And it's going to have your weekly grammar plans. You don't have to understand what this means yet, but it'll tell you your week at a glance, everything that you're studying that week, and what you're going to focus on, what you're going to do in class and at home. So that is your EEL guide, and that's the top of it. And the other thing, you'll start hearing about gear and charts and things. Those are all in your guide already. So I keep them in my weekly portion in my weekly binder, because I use them all the time and reference them all the time. But this is within that big old stack of already punched is your gear. That's going to have all your charts. It's going to have quid et quo, analytical task sheet. You don't have to know what any of that means, but if you hear certain different parts, you may already have it in your gear. At first, it sounds confusing. You think, oh, do I have that? You do. You have all the charts in your EEL guide, and you also have the analytical task sheet is the sheet that we diagram sentences and pick apart sentences. So you have those things. The other thing you have in the back of your gear, if people talk about spelling rules, these are awesome references. Spelling rules and spelling lists. You do not have to have a separate spelling curriculum. You can pull lists from, and they do it by week, and there's 3 levels within each week. I did not know that was there for like half of last year. So there are even spelling lists, okay, within your guide. We also have phonograms, and I think there was one phonogram, symbols, and homophones. There you go, homophones. I never say that right. Anyway, so your guide, your EEL guide, that was a long explanation of that, and I'm trying to simplify it. Like I said, it comes as a big old stack, and I can help you with organization. There's a few different ways you can approach it, but I got tired of carrying it all. So that is the grammar, and that is all you need for grammar. I will show you the Trivium tables, but you don't have to get them. These I partially did because I was tutoring, but when you learn quid et quo, this is like a big old spread out way to label sentences, but you really don't use this part for a while. What you might use is the back, because this is chart A and chart verbs and your sentence classifications. A few of the main charts that we use are on there, but you have these in your guide, so you do not need them. I use them, like I said, more with tutoring. So you've got the English Grammar Trivium Tables has more charts: nouns, pronouns, verbs, principal parts of verbs. I don't even know if I showed that well. Adjectives, adverbs, conjunctions, interjections, prepositions. And these are all, you have these exact things in your guide. So that is not necessary, but I will show you those. Okay, that was all grammar. This is the longest video ever. But math, you don't have to buy anything. There, moving on. IEW is our writing curriculum. Know that IEW stands for Institute for Excellence in Writing, okay? So there's Andrew Pudawa, he's our favorite, right? So the Structure and Style Seminar and Practicum Workbook is required by parents, and this is our reference. So this is, there are 9 units that we go through each year, and they tell you what they are. They give you the teaching procedure. Basically, it's more of a reference, and it goes along with the DVDs that we watch. So you watch the DVD, you have this handy to understand that unit and what's being taught and why they approach it that way. There's student samples. It's great to reference because if you don't understand what something is, he explains it there. But this is for the mamas. You will not need this in class. You don't need to bring this, but you do need to have it. I will show you the only thing that you need to have for IEW, and that is your history-based writing lessons. Do you like Avery's book? So it will be U.S. history-based writing lessons for next cycle, and I will say that I don't think you need the teacher's manual unless you're tutoring. We really use the student book all the time, and I would plan on, so you have to have your history-based writing lessons book, and in here, let's see if we can find a unit we didn't do or didn't use. Your checklists are in here, and because you know how they like to update and charge more, so new editions come out all the time. I wouldn't waste time making copies and hoping to use this for the next kid. I would just replace it for the next kid. Each paper they can tear out their checklist, and they'll learn all about how to fill out their checklist for their paper, but they are in here as well as everything you need for your writing assignments. Know that IEW is not a CC thing, but CC uses IEW. So there are more than 24 lessons in here, and CC pairs them down, still does every unit. The teacher's manual, I'll show you, it is exactly like the student book as far as right here in these boxes, and then it gives little teaching ideas on the side. And if you're super interested in that, you can, but most people can get by with just the student guide. This has examples filled in. After the first couple lessons, they really don't need any help on filling in keyword outlines, but it does give you all the answers filled in. But we a lot of times do this stuff in class. So if you are trying to save some money, I don't think you need this unless you really want it. But those they can come together if you want. So just remember US history, cycle 3, US history. The other thing that I will share from IEW, which is our writing, is the SRP, which is the Student Resource Packet. Some people call it Student Resource Binder. Student Resource Packet is what it's called on the order form. You can buy a digital copy and print it out yourself. I ended up splurging for the binder that they send, just because Avery references this every paper she writes. This is her book. So just like we have ours for the teaching portion, the students have these, and it lines up the same. It's got tabs with the units, but when they go to first unit, it's got a big explanation of, hey, remember what we talked about with note making and outlines? And here's the process. How do you do that? And these stay blank because they will reference them for years. Now we learned about, how to write from notes, how to retell narrative stories, and it gives a guide for everything. And again, you can print this all out. It's like 180 pages, I think, total, but I had them. So the main thing that gets referenced here is the tab dress ups and word lists, because you have to dress up your paper. So there will be dress ups and decorations, and there's a tab for decorations. So when you hear about dress ups and decorations, it is so easy for them to look up and say, okay, I used the word get. What is a strong verb? That would mean get. So Avery, like I said, references this every paper. So that's there's also how to use punctuation and how to mark up your paper, how to do your citations, basically handbook for them. So In summary, your IEW need your student book for U.S. history-based writing lessons, and I highly recommend the student resource packet, the SRP, as a reference. For mamas, you have to have this is what they call the TWSS, Teaching, Writing, Structure, and Style, to go along with the DVDs. All right, and that's the writing if you want the teacher's name. So then grammar is just the guide, and that's it. The guide. So if you have any questions, let me know. Sorry it's so long.